Hey, what up, Lokesters? This is JustinSayne. You're listening to Uncovering the Underground with my man Skippy Ickum on Spreaker Podcast Radio, bringing you nothing but the best in underground music.
This is Ent.
I am not normal, bitch, I'm abnormal. I've got a complex that makes me informal. But wait, there's more, though my life is horrible. Kept up for weeks by the voices that forego normal. Thoughts that have got me so vexed that it feels like I'm drifting along through a wormhole. Can't ignore it though, I'm delusional. Wait, I thought that my name was delirious. Man, I'm feeling slow, I can think a show. No emotions, I think that it's serious. Feeling miserable, I can make it all go away. And I'm feeling so feelingless. Take my hand and I'll show you the way. Need your help to extinguish the meek and the meaningless. Let me show you these beautiful pictures inside of my head. The theatric, the viciousness. Limitless is the way that it seems. Look for yourself, you can see what I mean. Visions of death and the worst of my dreams keep me a slave to a force I can't see. Fortunately, I am not cursed. I've simply just been afraid since my birth. Words, expressions, and hunger, this thirst. Spells out on beats for expressing my worth. First, I felt the grip of the feet. Take me and then knock me off of my feet. Then I step back with the force of release. Spit out my pain, left it all in the street. Eventually, I felt relaxed. Lay back to wait for the day they attack. This war that I wage every day is just that. A war every day and no end to my hand. You take a little trip with me, please take my hand. Let me bring you on a journey to a wondrous land. Inside my mind, you will find I am not who I am. Now the doctors couldn't help me, but I know that you can. Why don't you stay a little longer, help me through to the end. Please don't say that I am crazy, I don't know if I am. All these voices and my choices, I just can't understand. Help me please, journey with me, bring it all to an end. I was raised grateful, but no, never proud of this grave state. See some counting and taught me to save face. Never fall, never lapse, never give chase. I'm a rake fake and never fake greatness. So perplexed by the hate made me feel jaded. I got rose complacent with the venomous breath of a man bred through the most incredible stress. Felt the weight of my death that crashed down on my shoulders. Over and cover all this burden that I'm holding. Suddenly cracking from under this pressure until I get dead from this overindulgence. Soulless and hopeless, now I invoke this anger inside of me, larger than oceans. Played by anxiety, I've never tried to be anything but what I am in reality. Constantly battling for my humanity, haunted by all of my endless insanity. I'm the epitome of human shit. Beat myself up with these words that I spit. Deprecate me for my belligerence, cause I'm failing to see that I'm actually sick. Forgiveness is not something I'm gonna get for my shameless yelling impairment of bliss. All this perilousness that I see is just me. Inside of my mind is a treacherous street. Ceremoniously, I'm evolving to be an indulgent impulsive erroneous sleaze. Hopefully I'll see the joy of my death. Woefully cocky until my last breath. Save for the crime and the filter I left. Live with the weight of the world on my chest. Take a little trip with me, please take my hand. Let me bring you on a journey to a wondrous land. Inside my mind, you will find I am not who I am. Now the doctors couldn't help me, but I know that you can. Why don't you stay a little longer, help me through to the end. Please don't say that I am crazy, I don't know if I am. All these voices and my choices, I just can't understand. Help me please, journey with me, bring it all to an end.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Uncovering the Underground Radio Show, brought to you by First Angel Media and Brutal Business Entertainment. As always, I am your host, Skippy Ickum, and I want to thank you for listening tonight. If this is your first time ever tuning in, we would like to welcome you. We bring you a show each and every Thursday night from 8 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we dive into the mind and interview an up-and-coming underground artist across all platforms, whether it be a hip-hop artist, a band, model, author, athlete, you name it, we bring them on the show, we pick their brains. Tonight will be no different. If you are a return listener, we want to welcome you back. As you know, we are on all online platforms out there, from Spotify to iTunes and iHeartRadio, everything in between. You can check us out. As I said, that's each and every Thursday night, Uncovering the Underground. And, certainly you can download the episodes, stream them, or listen live. The only way that you can instant message us and talk to us during the show is through Spreaker.com or through the Spreaker app. That is Spreaker. That is our hosting company. If you go through them, you can actually talk to us during the shows, ask us questions, participate in the show, and we always encourage that. We like to hear from you. And we'd also like to thank our sponsors, Tattooed Scumbag Apparel. That's tattooedscumbag.com. Use promo code BBE10 for 10% off your overall order. Everything from hoodies, beanies, shirts, socks, sweatpants, you name it, they make it. I wear it when I'm playing live. I wear it when I'm running errands and when I'm laying on the couch at home. I love their stuff. Great quality gear. And if you're a tattooed scumbag like me, you'll love it. So make sure you check them out and support them. Use promo code BBE10 for 10% off your order. We would also like to thank Roush Designs, Legion Artworks, 5 Milligram Artworks, and R3 Graphics for all the work that they do for Brutal Business, the radio show, and myself. Thank you, guys. So tonight we are going to be bringing on another great guest for you. I am going to read you a little bit about this gentleman, and then we're going to jump into who he is, how he got started, and about his brand new album that he just recently dropped. Tonight we have JustinSayne N8V. He exploded onto the independent underground scene in late 2012 with the release of his debut album, Red List. He soon proved to be a serious force to be reckoned with. With his own original rock, rap, native style he calls rap and roll, or pop and mosh. His songwriting is smart, complex, and offers a strong positive message, while at the same time reminding us of the real world we live in and how he can change and we can change it for the better. As he belts out songs of love and respect, real-life struggles, and evolving as a race as we stand up against oppression and hate in all forms. His songs are personal, deep, and straight from the heart. Angry, feel-good music. He raps in many styles and is also known to do some singing as well. He can bust out harmonies, as well as attack metal screams and swoon in with a deep, soulful, smooth growl. He also gained a fast reputation for being a beast on stage and tearing up live shows. His follow-up album, Wagon Burner, proved his talent was not limited to just one good album. It was a beautiful continuation of the brutal, and I just lost myself, the brutal in-your-face head-banging mixed with melodic dark overtones, and I definitely agree with that. His songwriting skills, again, are exceptional and thought-provoking, backed by amazing music production with plenty of catchy, heavy guitar riffs, 808 bass, turntable scratches, head-banging, and dance grooves. I'm not going to read anymore. I'm going to bring him right on the line with us. We're going to go ahead and find out from himself who he is, how he got started, about his album, and about his journey so far in music. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome JustinSayne N8V. How you doing today, bro?
Hey, doing good, man. Good to be here with you, Skippy, for sure, brother. Shout out to Brutal Business. Good to be here on Uncovering the Underground with you here this evening, bro.
I appreciate it, man. It's always a good time. We get to kick it with one another and kind of just, shoot the breeze a little bit, having a good time, and the fans always seem to enjoy it, so I'm sure we'll have a good set of conversations tonight.
Yeah, definitely, man. Look forward to it.
So why don't you tell us, a little bit about yourself? I read a little bit of your bio, but I like to hear it from the source themselves. I like to start it traditional. Why don't you tell us how you got started in the music scene?
Well, I'll try to do the short version here. It's actually a funny story. I'd first like to start out by saying about 14 years ago, I kind of went through some heavy spiritual awakening, and kind of brought me to sobriety from over 20 years of alcoholism and heavy drug addiction. And once I found this newfound spirituality and diving into my culture and everything like that, it kind of started putting me on some new paths. About this time, I really started getting into strange music. This was about, 2007, and started getting into strange music a lot. I was going around to a lot of the shows. If anybody's ever been out there back in the day with some strange music shows, Prozak could always be out there in the smoking area, kicking it with the folks, having a smoke, talking with the fans, things like that. And me and Prozak ended up talking a little bit, man, and we really hit it off. We wanted to do some work together of some sort. We weren't really sure what, but he said, "Hey man, give me a call, save up your money. We'll invest in something. We'll do some kind of business. Hit me up if you're ever serious." Actually ended up giving me his number. I worked my ass off for about 2 years, saved up some money, and ended up investing into a film with Prozak. I don't know How many of the fans out there know? I'm sure a lot of them in the underground do know that Prozak also does paranormal documentaries. He's done 10 of his own feature films, and he actually has his own series now on the Travel Channel. And so a paranormal documentary, kind of ghost hunting type thing. So I invested into this film with Prozak, man. Now, at this time, I was just on a spiritual path. I was going to powwows. I was dancing. I'm a traditional native. I was holding sweat lodge ceremony. Things of that nature, really on a spiritual path. But I was also trying to get into some kind of business thing, just coming out of a long stint of alcoholism, trying to get my feet on the ground, So get a business going, start getting that life going. And so at this time, man, I invested in the movie, and he's like, hey, why don't you come out and check out some of the filming? And I was like, well, I don't know if you know what I do in my real life or not, but people actually bring me, tobacco and things of that nature to come to their place and make scary stuff, ghosts, spirits go away. So I'm not sure you're really going to want me there. And he's like, oh, really? Because I do spiritual work, house cleansing, things of that nature, healings and whatnot. And he was like, oh, really, man? Well, why don't we bring you out here as maybe a cleanser at some of these ghost hunts we do at the end? You can kind of do a cleansing. And I was like, all right, man, that sounds cool. And let's check it out. And I ended up coming out to Saginaw, Michigan, where we were doing the filming. And as soon as I got off the plane, I knew I wasn't there to have anything to do with the movie, bro. I was there to do the spiritual work. Everything was in like my tribe's language. Saginaw is home of the Saginaw Chippewa, which is also Ojibwe, an offshoot of, cousins of my tribe, which is the White Earth Reservation of Chippewa or Ojibwe. So everything was in my language, everything. I'm like, I'm here to do spiritual work. I'm not here to do, this movie stuff at all. That just kind of comes second. So he ends up taking me to this place, man, where they had actually dug up some native elders, and it was just kind of right there on the corner downtown, where people were just walking right over the top of it. It was, kind of a real dishonorable thing that it was left there. So I ended up going there, and he caught it on film, and I went out there and kicked off my shoes in the snow, man, and went out there and did some ceremony, sang a few songs. So now I'm singing my native songs on my hand drum. And as I'm singing my native songs, doing my spiritual work. So I'm done with this. And Prozak comes up and he's like, hey man, you got a heck of a voice. I'd like to get you in the studio. And so, this is my first thing. This was that first step. He ends up taking me to Detroit, get me on the studio. It was a song of his at the time, which was called My Life. It actually ended up being on my second album, Wagon Burner. With him featuring on it. But it was actually a Prozak song that he had me singing on that he ended up in the long run just gifting to me for my second album. Wow. But I sang the hook for the song. And when I came back, see, I'm an old school metalhead, man. Slayer, Ozzy, Black Sabbath, Ronnie James Dio. I'm old school metal, Iron Maiden. And but I always got, like I said, got into Strange really heavy. So I was getting a really good taste for rap and stuff. And so I sang this hook for him, and when I got back to my little town here, I was letting everybody check it out. Hey, I was all excited. I sang a hook for Strange Music with Prozak, blah, 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 and I'm all tripping out. But then I'd have to hear that full 16 bars before my little singing part came on. You know what I'm saying? So I said, you know what? I think I'm going to write a rap right here. Just to kind of, I know music. I've been in metal bands, choirs, all that type of stuff. I know how to write music and structure it and stuff, whatnot. I said, I bet I can, try at least attempt to write a rap. And so I wrote a little 16 bars to the beginning of the song My Life. It's not what's on there now. It was something completely different because at the time, literally, I was so green at this. I didn't even know what a bar was. I knew verses and choruses and stuff like that, but hooks and bars and that type of language, I wasn't really hip to yet at the time, man. So I just kind of wrote out this cool thing and I'd rap it to my friends, before the actual hook came on. That kind of turned into me saying, hell, this doesn't sound too bad. I'm going to hit up my homie down the road. I know he makes beats, and basically just told him, hey, make me 3 beats. I want a bunch of 808 bass, and I want a bunch of scratching and a heavy guitar. And to me, that was the metal rap that where it kind of started from, the roots of it. And so he sent me back 3 beats. I wrote the first song, and I would imagine that'll probably be the first one we listen to tonight, which was Cuckoo's Nest. I wrote to those beats. I wrote a song called Duck and Dive and a few other ones. And that kind of just turned into, hey, maybe I can write an album. And I wrote 5 songs. I rapped them to Prozak over the phone. And he's like, holy shit, dude, that's pretty dope. I know a dude right in your area up in Portland where, you can go record if you want to go record those 5 songs. And I'm like, sure. I'm like, what's his name? And he's like, oh, it's my homie DJ Chill. And I'm like, no shit. Like literally the year before I was, out in the crowd, fanboying out, DJ Chill, DJ Chill. This was Tech Nine's DJ. So I'm like, no shit, man. So again, the doors are opening. I end up going to Portland, Oregon, and record with Chillest Illest, DJ Chill. And he recorded my first 5 songs and really dug what he already heard. Because I did get some beats from Michael Seven Summers that Prozak laid on me. He picked out some special beats that, he thought would really fit my style and stuff like that he had got from Michael Seven Summers and things of that nature. So I wrote Cuckoo's Nest. I went and recorded those. And then DJ Chill was like, hey, dude, I really like what you're laying down. I don't get to record much music like this rock rap type style. He actually said, hey, man, you're like the Kurt Cobain of rap. I'll never forget that. And so he ended up making me 5 beats. I had 10 songs, man. So I wrote those 10 songs. I put out my first album, Red List, and the rest is kind of history from there, man. So it was just kind of one blessing after another, brother.
No, it sounds like it, man. I'm glad it's kind of taken the path that it has for you. I think what I want to do is I want to jump into the first song right now, and then when we come back from that, I'm going to talk about a few of the things that you said so far on that specific journey. So why don't we start this off, and we will jump into Cuckoo's Nest. Why don't you give us an interlude into this song?
Just a short little song about my life, about my alcoholism and kind of some of the trials and tribulations that I went through, and how finding spirituality in my culture and things of that nature brought me out of it like a phoenix from the ashes, bro.
Absolutely. You heard it, folks. This is Cuckoo's Nest, and this is JustinSayne N8V. We'll be right back on Uncovering the Underground.
You.
Tearing on through, these feelings grew. This can't be true. My memories of you are few, but I've got a new view. The cuckoo's nest I flew. Here's a little story about a man that had no faith. Started out a happy boy, his mama saving grace. Mama loved him very much and told him he'd be great. Was attached to her leg, but booze had claimed her fate. So the boy decided to attach himself to hate. Give us all the anger, all creation was to blame. Teachers can't control him, gonna send him to a shrink. And he has these migraine headaches, makes it hard for him to think. Sadly, another reason for his pops to drink. Maybe kick his ass for being a lying little thief. All the stupid kids in school, they like to call him chief. He doesn't fit in nowhere, should be dead, that's his belief. Girls don't ever look at him, he seems a little weird. But that's okay with him because he's now discovered beer. Isn't really liking what he's seeing in the mirror, and he's turning into everything that all the mothers fear. Tearing on through, these feelings grew. This can't be true. My memories of you are few, but I've got a new view. The cuckoo's nest I flew. Now his pain is growing and his fear is showing. Must drink every little bit of booze that's flowing. Two personalities to escape his reality. This is what it's like inside the brain of insanity. Now he doesn't give a fuck about the people that he hurts, and he doesn't give a shit about the blood that's on his shirt. Will he ever be the same? Everybody's feels his pain. Insane migraine, obsess, obsess, regress, undress, detest, unblessed, memories repressed, brain cells so stressed. I guess he guessed it's life one test. One more beer fest, more drugs to ingest. Then one night in a fight over Sergey, he took a knife 5 times for no pay. Punctured lung and cut aorta. Does he remember? Kinda, sorta. Tearing on through, these feelings grew. This can't be true. My memories of you are few, but I've got a new view. The cuckoo's nest I flew. Now he wants to change things, feel what love brings. Hear the birds sing, have some feelings. He wants to feel the sunshine, wake up and feel fine. Leave all those bad memories behind. Wants to sing, he needs to dance. He sees it now, this is his chance. Yearns to just be free, not lonely. And if only this dream could be time to begin. Let the light in, it's within him. Stop the sinning, why's he grinning? He has prayed hard in his backyard. Body so star-saved, just a shard of his broke heart. And he will start replace what fell apart. Peace without this, won't be so pissed. Now living bliss, old life not missed. Tearing on through, these feelings grew. This can't be true. My memories of you are few, but I've got a new view. The cuckoo's nest I flew.
All right, folks, we are back on Uncovering the Underground, and you just heard Cuckoo's Nest by JustinSayne N8V, and we've been talking with him for the last 20 minutes, picking his brain about how he got started in the music scene. And, you said a couple things that I wanted to kind of touch on. You did say you're a very spiritual person. You do have a Native background in history. How was that getting into the hip-hop scene, being of Native blood? Because you see a lot of whites, you see a lot of blacks and Hispanics, but you don't see a lot of anyone with a Native background getting into the hip-hop scene. At least I don't too much. So it's a cool thing to see and see that you represent that in your music. How was that perceived, though, starting out?
It was a real tricky thing because I didn't know who was going to gravitate towards my music. I had hoped Native because I kept it real traditional, because honestly, I was really concerned about what my elders were going to think when I started doing this. I walk a very traditional path, and it's got some pretty strict rules. And so I was kind of concerned about how I would be portrayed by my elders. I was concerned about how my own people were going to perceive me and what I was doing, if I was, bastardizing my culture or being a sellout or something like that, So I was kind of concerned about that. And I was wondering if Natives were even going to gravitate towards it. I certainly was hoping so, because it's really geared a lot towards people on a Native path and things of that nature. But the reason that I did this is I was going to powwows and I was dancing and I was doing ceremonies, and everything I do is to spread a message about us all coming together as one, recognizing common enemies in life, honoring the Mother Earth, honoring animals, making everything for the next 7 generation, basically honoring the children and making sure that everything we do, we keep in mind the next 7 generations in front of us and how that's going to affect them. So I try to always express these messages in life in general. But when I looked around while I was at powwow, man, and there was 20 other guys doing the same thing and women doing the same thing, teaching the same lessons. Then I'd go on my social media with all my homies and my family and, all my Juggalo fam and things like that. And it's fuck the world and life sucks and let's get drunk and I want to kill myself and all these things. And I was like, you know what, man, this is who needs to hear this message. These people is who needs to hear what the fuck I got to say. But how am I going to get this across so it's not sounding, number one, preachy? You don't want to be out there singing anti-alcohol songs and talking about, respect elders and all this kind of stuff. It can really come across in the wrong way. So I had to figure out a way to address it in a way that it was going to be accepted. And what other way than in the wicked shit that we do. And in living the life that I led, it allowed me to sing about real life things that actually were horror, to make my music seem horrorcore, even though it was just based in reality. So who really gravitated towards the music first was Juggalos. Without the Juggalos, JustinSayne would not even have been, man. It was the Juggalos gravitated towards it. They put me on my first show. And that all came from being in that film with Prozak, and Prozak fans. And then, so I already kind of had a little thing from doing that movie. And then when I put out an album, those people and fans that kind of came off of his stuff kind of gravitated towards it and checked it out. And of course, it being Michael Seven Summers beats and kind of having those underground, kind of horror-core-ish type sounds, it just kind of gravitated that way anyway. So it didn't really go the Native way that I expected. It was actually almost kind of invisible to them, and it still is. Actually, I'm still just barely, I've been nominated for a few West Coast Native American awards, best video and things like that, but they really see me as, without even listening to my music ever, I'm automatically judged. I was actually told one time that a guy couldn't do a set with me. This was just a reggae dude, but he was like, he couldn't do a show with me. He didn't want me to open for him because my music was violent towards women and children. And I said, well, then obviously he's never heard one of my songs, so there was a lot of that. So, but the elders really gravitated towards it. My music is loved by, little kids all the way up to 100 years old, so it really goes out there. So I was really amazed at who it did get to. And it's finally starting to get into the native circles, to where I'm able to play shows on the reservation and
that's awesome.
And things like that. So that's been a really blessing, man.
No, it's a crazy journey, and I'm glad to hear it's certainly worked out for you the way that it has. It's always a struggle, but I think you have to have that struggle a little bit to really respect it when you get it, and it's good to see that it's coming to fruition. So that's awesome. Stick with it. You'll certainly continue to do big things. I'm a huge fan of Prozak and have always loved his music and everything that he really does. So I'm glad that the connection happened there for all these things to kind of evolve into what they have, because once upon a time you wouldn't have thought about being and doing what you're doing right now, but that path led you here.
No, and it trips people out. I mean, there's people that knew me 20 years ago or high school or things of that nature. It's like, what, Justin's a rapper? It's kind of like, no way. But I couldn't have hoped or been blessed with a better brother than Prozak to not only just kind of help open these doors for me and stuff like he did, but be the person to kind of guide me on etiquette, underground etiquette, if you will, and just kind of how things work, and and being real and how to remain real in this business and things of that nature, because he's a straight up real dude, man, and he's all heart, and you want to be that kind of guy in this business to where when you look about yourself online and everybody's talking about, such and such is the greatest. He just talked to us out back like we were normal and smoked with us and blah, blah, blah. And that's what Prozak is, man. And people dig that. And so I couldn't ask for a better, I'll go ahead and say it. I got about 2 mentors, if you will, in this underground business since I've been here. And he was my first. And then, it kind of goes into Razakel. Razakel really gave me a big push in this underground business, man. And so definitely much love and respect to her also, always.
Absolutely. Much love to Raz. That's how we met one another, was whenever you played the tour with, it was Razakel, you, Genosha X.
Yes, Gore's Truly
tour. Yeah, I play with you guys here at the Pittsburgh stop of that, and that's where me and you met each other originally. And it's funny, a couple years later, things are coming full circle to get you back on the show. So it's funny how life works, but no, Raz is great. She helps a lot of people. It's great to hear Prozak is as well. If you haven't heard the interview I did with Raz last year, folks, make sure you go back and listen to that past episode and all of our past episodes. We have a lot of great guests that we've had on over the last year. Tonight is episode 54, so certainly 53 other great interviews that you can listen to when you have some free time. If you are tuning in now and you missed the beginning of this episode, don't fret. You can always tune back after it's over from the beginning. As of right now, it is live, so you'll have to wait till it ends, but it's there for your streaming and downloading pleasures. So 3 albums out right now, I believe you said?
Yeah, just released my 3rd one, Borderline Personality. Just released that. I might as well say it's not even released yet, since this virus kind of came and put the whole kibosh on any kind of real release that I would have liked to have put out on it.
Yeah, that's fucked, man. That ruined everything.
It was officially put out online and everything right about the end of January, beginning of February. So it's been out a couple months and doing well, man. Really, really pleased with the feedback and everything on the new album for sure.
Everything I've heard on it so far has been pretty dope, man, so I can't wait to get to hear the full thing. I know the fans are certainly excited to hear some of it as well, and we will jump into a little bit of that here shortly. Now, the new album, what's the title of that?
Borderline Personality.
You heard it, folks. Borderline Personality. Pick up a copy of that as soon as you can on digital platforms. How many tracks are we looking at on this one?
14 on that bad boy.
14, all right. That's usually where I like to keep mines, around 12 to 14. I don't like to go beyond that. I don't like to go much shorter than 12. But I always feel like 12 to 14 is a very good number.
It is. My first 2 albums, I kind of wanted to keep it like old school garage band albums where you had a side A and a side B, and I had 5 songs on one and 5 songs on the other.
Okay.
So I kind of structured my first 2 like that, kind of 10 songs. But the in-between period of my second album and this new album was kind of stretched out. So I kind of made, I released a few singles in between and whatnot, but I kind of made the fans wait So because of that, I figured I'd throw a few more extra songs on there for making them wait like that.
No, that's awesome. I mean, 10, like you said, doing 10 on the other ones wasn't a bad idea either. I think as long as it's 10, you're giving them enough that it's worth it to them. But you don't want to give the fans too much, and I hate to say it like that. I mean, it's nothing against them, but to give a disc that's 22 songs like some people do, that's a shit ton of music that you could split that up between 2 albums and put out 2 products, have them excited 2 times, and ultimately get twice the buzz and twice the income back to help put into other projects. So it's just a no-brainer, but to each their own. But yeah, 14 was always like a max for me.
Yeah, well, shit, in the 90s, I remember in early 2000s, shit like that. I mean, every album had like 23, 26 songs. It
was ridiculous. It's like Wu-Tang, Clan album, 18, 19 songs, and you're like, holy fuck, that's a lot of music. And the problem with that is, I believe at least, is when you have an album that big, you got songs that have the potential or already are very good songs that get pushed into the shadows. So you have like, oh, there's 7 songs in this album I love, but it's a 19-song album, and then you have 12 other songs that are dope, but you're always skipping them to go to those ones you really like on the album. Whereas if you have a shorter album, you're not losing as much there. That's why I feel like it gives potential for people to skip over some of your tracks.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense for sure.
Now, what's your thoughts on, I like to ask a lot of the guests that come on the show with, the day and age that we're in now, because starting out, handing out mixtapes in crowds and at shows in the street compared to now mostly everything is digital. Honestly, a lot of people aren't even selling physical copies and are only selling digital in this day and age. We've kind of taken a full-blown step towards the digital world on releasing and how we listen to our music. What are your thoughts on that?
Organically, I think it's a drag. Business-wise, I mean, I just roll with it. I try to roll with the punches and try to keep up to date as I can and give the kids what they want, man. If they want it if they want the album on a flash drive, then that's the way I'm going to provide it for them. If they prefer it, I just want to make sure that it's provided for them. But in all honesty, the organicness of it and the soul of it it's kind of been taken out a little bit for me. There's nothing like hitting the malls and hitting the parking lots and slinging your CDs out of the trunk or hitting whatever show was in town and being there with your box of merch, man, and selling your CDs and slinging your CD out in the parking lot of the show. And there's not a lot of that going on anymore, and albums are making a little bit of a comeback. So I'm glad to see that they actually outsold CDs for the first time last year. And, since like 1981 or some shit like that. But so it might come full circle, but I just try to roll with the punches, man. I prefer CDs. I prefer hard copies. I get everything out as I can digitally, but touring, that's where it's at, man. People, honestly, people still do want CDs, and the way you find it, if you're never going to leave your town, then you don't even need to worry about CDs. You can put out singles. You can put out a single and a video once a month, and you're good to go. If you're wanting to tour and get out and see the country, then definitely you have to have CDs. You got to have merch. You got to have all that good stuff. So when you jump off that stage and they like what they hear, they can walk right over your table and say, hey, man, I like this song and that song. Well, how do I get it? Right here on this CD. So, and people like that signed CD. There's still some value to it as far as, like I said, that organic soul that comes with music, man. People, and honestly, I think people want to see the big pictures of it, like on albums and shit, when you got the full artwork and you open it up to a double album and you just stared at the album and read it like the whole time you listened to it. That kind of, with the big digital, it really kind of takes away from that. It kind of takes away from the true connection with getting into the product itself and everything that goes into it,
It's really numbified and numbed down the true essence of finding that album or finding that artist you like. I remember going to CD stores and picking out albums of artists that I've waited for, or albums that I've waited for, or sometimes just random purchases of people I didn't know, and how exciting it was to rip the plastic open, look through the book, smell it, see the art, read the thank you section, and then go home and put it in a CD player and hear it. Whereas all of that has been taken away at the click of a button. Boom, it's download, a click of another button, it's playing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And
It's
you know,
it's insane.
and I, as an artist, I put you know, personally, those things are really important to me. Those thank yous and the credits in the CDs. And another thing that I'd like to do, they make it so small now, and everything's so small, is everybody wants the lyrics to what they're listening to. It made it better. It made you connect with the song better. Even though I loved an Iron Maiden song, if I got to sit there and read all the lyrics to it, I liked it way better. You know, so.
Oh, absolutely. You feel it more. Like sometimes you can just love a song for the way that it sounds and not know the lyrics completely. You know pieces of it, but you're like, yeah, I just like the vibe of this song. But if you can grab the booklet and read it, and then all of a sudden you vibe with the lyrics too, it's a whole different thing now. You're like, oh shit, now I feel this song.
And they do have lyric videos, I guess. I mean, so there is that. I mean, one of the cool things I was thinking of maybe trying to do, you know, in the future, my next tour or something like that, is I would like to have flash drives with everything on there. You know what I'm saying? Like you make nice little flash drives with your whole kind of like a press kit on there. You got videos on there. You got if you've done a film, you got your film on there. You got your bios on there. You got lyrics on there. You got video. You know, you just kind of got a little photo album on there. So the fans really got something to look at. You know, because that, to me, that is so what's missing in music these days, is that visual stimulation that you get from checking out your band and seeing them on stage when you can't see them in concert and all that type of shit, you know?
No, I agree, and that's something. It's funny that you brought that up, because with things moving more towards, you know, USB sticks and flash drives, it's interesting. I've thought about that before as well. As you could not only give them all of your albums at one time, you can include your music videos. You can include, you know, pictures on like a photo loop that they could even look at, of pictures behind the scenes and things like that, and just sell them a whole package. So this flash drive is $50, but this flash drive gives you 7 albums, 4 videos, lyrics, and this and this. You know what I mean? So people would buy the shit out of it.
Exactly, man. And then you have like 4 or 5 different ones. You know, you have one that just your single albums, of course, things like that. And then you got the full package one with, like you were just talking about, that's got everything on there. All your whole discography, everything you've ever done, like pictures, you know, letters you've written, pictures of the real copies of where you wrote the lyrics, like all kinds of shit, you know.
And you can get really in depth depending upon how big of a memory card it has on there. You could save a lot of stuff on it and price it accordingly. And like you said, have ones that are single albums, double albums, quadruple albums, whatever you want, and still at the end of the day, it's only going to fill up a small pocket of a backpack. Exactly. You're going to have like 50 of them, and it's going to take up no room, whereas 50 albums takes up a shit ton of room. So it is something, when you look at it from that aspect, that digitally is nice, because you can take 3/4 of the merch that you have now and get rid of it, you know, as far as like the extra shit that you have to carry. I know that I hustle a lot of CDs to the shows, and if you do it USB style, you know, I could have one box.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Put them on those cool, you know, that you put the laminates on, those chains and shit, the
lanyards.
Yeah, like a lanyard, like with the necklace, with your cool logo on the necklace and shit, with your you know, flash drive on there, and you sell those. And you know, from a capitalist point of view, it's one of those things that's easy to lose, so they'll always have to be replaced.
Oh yeah, you'll lose the shit out of them. People will be buying them the same night. They'll buy them, walk away, and come back and buy another one.
Yeah, yeah, $50 for a thing the size of your thumb, you know.
That's crazy, man. Who would have thought that it would go from, you know, 8-track to records to tapes to CDs to digital. I mean, the path that it's gone on, and now you get just a press of a button, boom, and anybody you want to search. I mean, go back 50, 60 years. You had to go out and find that album. You couldn't listen to anything unless you found it, and now you can't not find it. I mean, it's all at your fingertips, so it is definitely changed up the scene from when we started to the newer generation that's starting now, but much love to everybody in the scene. We're going to jump to another song break here. This one is going to be JustinSayne Native's Damned Land. We'll be right back on Uncovering the Underground.
understand the procedure now? Just stop a few of their machines and radios and telephones and lawnmowers. Throw them into darkness for a few hours and then sit back and watch the pattern.
And this pattern is always the same?
With few variations. They pick the most dangerous enemy they can find, and it's themselves. All we need to do is sit back and watch.
Then I take it this place, this Maple Street, is not unique.
By no means. Their world is full of Maple Streets. And we'll go from one to the other and let them destroy themselves. One to the other. 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 One to the other.
As I walk through the land of the damned, am I awake? City unlocked, reduced to sand by human hand, a fire lake. I have seen the demise of all mankind, I am a witness. Watch all life fry, my arms they die in endless hit list. Dropping like flies, I heard their cries, no longer buys. I empathize and sympathize, so many lives I've struggled with this. Lecherous, treacherous, murderous, torturous, cancerous, uterus. Soon they'll all be through with us. On this path of wrath that I roam, I have no fear, road covered red blood from the dead, as if God said the end is here. So I paint up my face, I leave no trace, a wandering ghost now. Mother Earth disgrace, the human race will take a final bow. We all were blind, they stole the sky, but no one tried. We all sat by, believed the lies came from the mouths of sows. Population reduction, extinction, solution, redemption, salvation, confusion is now. Where did it all go? No more rainbows here, no tree grows, river no more flow. No clean wind blows, scorched earth below, future's window has now been closed. Now I stand, one lone man in this forsaken scene. The red rain pours, washing the gore. Why won't I wake from this dream? I bring my weapon of choice. Besides my voice, it is my battle axe. Just in case a zombie race tries to eat my face, I will attack. Masses have changed, range rearranged by the deranged. I thought it strange and just insane. Treated like game, their spirits turn black. Visualized, televised, sanitized, lavish lies, traumatized, hypnotized. Pull the wool over your eyes. Through this maze of craze that I blaze, I say a prayer, try to stay strong. A world gone wrong, I'll sing a song in my despair. Now I think to a time when I would rhyme to heed a warning. No one ever listened, now they're missing, I am mourning. They all were scared and no one cared, they all would stare. Respect was rare, no one was spared, and we would not evolve. Mass production, destruction, construction, obstruction, dysfunction, distraction, connection, dissolve. Where did it all go? No more rainbows here, no tree grows, river no more flow. No clean wind blows, scorched earth below, future's window has now been closed. Trek through the scape of planet rape, to my surprise, through bloodshot eyes there is a crack in the cement. I see a sprout would not submit. How does it grow? It doesn't know. It will bestow new life on earth. This small seed's birth is all we need. The beads are freed, more life it feeds. The branches reach, the sun is seen. It's been a while, was in denial that through this vile and massive pile of man-made bile there grows a vine that's split for miles. What's on my face? Oh, that's a smile. I now remember the pretenders that would render every gender to surrender to the lenders. I was sworn to be a mender and defender. Heart was tender like the tree grew through concrete that now was free to bring new hope to this damn land. Now starting back where life began, the prophecies had long foreseen a new rebirth for human beings. Most will fall, I've seen it all. We built a wall, worship them all, but what befalls those who stand tall is only knowledge in the fact that life here can remain intact. If we use warriors, make a pact, protect the seeds that grow through cracks. If you're in need, they will come back.
The tools of conquest do not necessarily come with bombs and explosions and fallout. There are weapons that are simply thoughts, attitudes, prejudices, to be found only in the minds of men. For the record, prejudices can kill, and suspicion can destroy. And a thoughtless, frightened search for a scapegoat has a fallout all of its own. For the children, and the children yet unborn.
And we are back on Uncovering the Underground. That was Damned Land by JustinSayne N8V. We've been hanging out with him for just shy of an hour at this point, talking over how he got started into business, his appearance on a Prozak film for Haunted Saginaw. If you have not checked that out, please do. Great films that are about the paranormal side, which, as most of you know, are near and dear to me. Taking a time to do a shameless plug real quick. If you haven't checked out my other radio show, Celestial Oddities, you can certainly do so on all online platforms. That is my radio show about the paranormal and esoteric. Everything from dark magic and rituals to, ghosts, hauntings, demons, everything in between. It is a great show on all things odd and obscure. And that airs 3 times a month. Make sure you check that out. And let us know what you think on any topics you want to see us cover. The next episode coming up is on the Black-Eyed Children, and we'll be going in depth with who they are and what they are about.
Oh yeah, that should be a good episode, man. Yeah, that's those are one of the crazier ones.
Creepy little fuckers. Yeah, I mean it's a weird thing all over the world. You know, you got these people that are getting knocks on their doors and bumping into them while out in their car somewhere, and you can't see their faces, and they're always in some type of distress. I'm hurt. I need into the car. Please let me into the car. Please let me into the house. But you can't really see them, and there's an eerie feeling about it. When they do look at you, their eyes are all completely black, and for the people that have been stupid enough to let them in, they started feeling very strange. Some of them woke up in their house, don't remember how they had gotten there. The kids were gone. Some weird shit, and no one knows exactly what they are, and we're certainly going to cover a few ideas that my partner Daniel and I have discussed and believe on this specific topic. We get pretty in-depth with it. So if that sounds like something you're into, folks, make sure you check it out. That'll be coming in the next 2 weeks. We'll have a news dropping about that soon.
Nice. No. Yeah, and just a quick mention on that. I just wanted the episode, the film that I'm featured in is called "A Haunting on Hamilton Street Part 2." It's the second in Prozak's Haunting Saginaw series. So that'd be the one I'm featured in. And hopefully, if all goes well, man, and he gets a second season on this show, you might just see a little cameo of JustinSayne N8V popping up in there on TV, doing a little ceremony. You never know.
Absolutely. I'd like to see a second season. I haven't seen anything. First season hasn't dropped yet, has it?
Yeah, it just ended, actually.
Oh, it just ended. Okay.
Yeah, it was a real short first season, because it was just just trying it out and stuff like that. It was a new show, so it was just a six episode season. But it seemed to be very successful. It was getting, quadruple the likes and shares of even the highest rated shows on the Travel Channel's website and things of that nature. So I believe it's got a good future in front of it for sure.
I believe so, man. He does it very well. He puts it together very nicely. He's educated. He goes in knowing what he's doing. He has a good team. Honestly, I've watched a lot of paranormal shows over the years, and he's one of the only ones that I've ever actually enjoyed.
Yeah, same here. I can say the same thing. Yeah, I never really got into the paranormal shows that much, and until I started doing this with him, and of course then I kind of started watching a few more and opening it up to him and investigating a little bit more. And, there's a few I like, but yeah, he's definitely top of his game for sure.
No, definitely. And it's always good to see someone that's educated in that side and knows what they're talking about rather than someone that's just out ghost hunting. They know the background behind things and they do their research, and that's important because not a lot of people do that. There's a lot of really, really silly shows out there that I've watched that I'm like, wow, this team is garbage.
Yeah.
They just need to stop going out and fucking with the spirits. It's not fun. You don't know what you're doing. You're putting everybody at harm, and you just suck. So just please quit.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there.
Haunting in Heartland. Yeah, absolutely. We got a couple comments coming in. Yeah, the Haunting in Heartland's pretty dope.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, for everybody out there, yeah, I'm doing a little coughing here, but don't worry, JustinSayne N8V ain't got the corona. He's still safe in here and in quarantine. So, but yeah, it's I live on the West Coast. I live in Oregon, and it's legal out here, and so it was a little bit of medicine time for me. So
he's getting medicated, folks.
Yeah, if you hear me doing a little bit of coughing, it's the medication, not the corona.
Hopefully we don't hear a news bulletin, 3 days from now. JustinSayne N8V, coronavirus positive.
Oh God, no, we won't.
Some crazy shit going on out there, man. What's your thoughts on this? Who's ever seen anything like this? Obviously, the world has gone through a few things like it over the past, but not so much to this scale where everything completely is shut down like this. It's pretty wild.
It's a trip. It's surreal to be living in it, but it's very how should I say? Especially to my people, it's predictable, foreseeable. It's not a surprise in any way, shape, or form. And as far as what I think, I don't know. I try to, anybody that knows me and has been listening to me or follow me online for quite some time know that I'm an avid conspiracy theorist, if you will. I'm one of those tinfoil hat wearers. I totally, used to talk about chemtrails a lot and GMOs in the food and things of that nature. So, the last few years, I try not to feed into anything like that anymore. All I know is that the entire planet right now is vibrating in fear. And I believe that is I don't want to, a planned thing, a thing that was inevitable, a thing that was maybe by certain forces or whatever it may be, to be planned out, that we are supposed to be vibrating in fear. It makes us weak as a human race. It lowers our vibration. So, the whole world's vibrating in fear right now. And when the whole world of humans vibrate in fear like that, it gives a lot of power to things that can work against us, if you will. So, I don't know what the hell's going on. I believe there's some bad shit that's going around out there that's messing some people up and affecting people's lives in a bad way. And I put out, blessings and prayers for them and try to get out there and help as much as I can. And, I've been trying to get out there to the elders and deliver some food if I can, and, whatever's needed out there, and, try to keep a distance and, do what I can. But, this to me is just the beginning. The natives in my tribe, we have a prophecy, and our prophecies haven't been wrong in thousands and thousands and thousands of years. We've never had one of our prophecies be wrong. And right now we are at a crossroads. The human race is at a crossroads. I sing a lot about it in my songs about the 7 fire prophecy. And right now we are in the 7th fire. Each fire was kind of like a basic, like a point in time. And right now we are in the 7th fire. And in this time, it says that this is when, that we're supposed to be seeking out the knowledge of our elders, seeking the knowledge of our Mother Earth again, going back to the natural ways, and seeking out our spirituality again and things of that nature. And also this is the time that we all man, well, the prophecy says white man. I personally believe it's all man. And I believe, and what it says is that we will come to a fork in the road in this 7th fire. And the one road will lead to spirituality, and that road to spirituality will light the 8th and final fire, which is basically like Shangri-La, like heaven on earth, man. The Bigfoots come out and start talking to us again. The animals communicate with us again. The little people, the fairies, things like that start communicating with us again. Our star brothers and sisters come back. It's just like, we start tapping into our inner powers again and speaking to each other, telepathically and all kinds of good shit, dude, if we follow this road of spirituality into the 8th and final fire. But what it says is that if we follow the road to technology, now what the prophecy itself actually says is if we follow the other road, which is the road to technology, that it's going to bring all the death and destruction that white man had brought across over to these shores will consume us all. It's basically going to kill us all. It'll be the end of all. Again, I try not to put it into racial terms because I put it into terms of just man. We're all man. We're here. We need to make the right decisions. We need to live in balance with what keeps us alive. Our Mother Earth, the air, the water, the food and things of that nature. So, this is for my people. It's scary because we're going through it, but it's all prophesized. It's written already that the destruction of these ways are to come, that it can't go on like this consumption without any giving back and destruction of everything. the Mother Earth's going to throw us a curveball, man. And, and it's going to come in the forms of all different types of things. The tornadoes we've been seeing, different diseases that'll wake up, actually come out of dormancy, from being locked in ice that'll melt, things of that nature. So we got a tough road to hoe, man. But all I know is that us as a human race, we're badass. And if we stick together in love and as one, like the fingers in a fist, bro, because singly a finger is, it's useful and it's all got its use. Each finger's got its use, but it's easily broken. It's easily twisted and it's easily busted off. You put all those fingers together in a fist, man, together as one, and you've got power. And that's what we are as a people, man. So we got a lot of shit coming up and we're going through a lot of shit now. But we're going to be all right and we're going to get through it. We just need to be strong and stick together, man.
No, I love that, man. Don't be the finger, be the fist.
That's right.
Because that's it, man. I mean, that you can't speak more volumes than that right there. And I agree that very well could be where we are at right now, is a crossroads. And there's some saying that obviously there could be a lot of disclosure coming up in the near foreseeable future and things changing, because once this happens, it's a shock to the system. A lot of people are stuck in the house. A lot of people are talking to one another, reevaluating life, and it's awakening a lot of people's spiritual side and connectivity towards other human beings. And if you get enough people in the same vibration, you can take that fear vibration that certainly could have negative consequences, and we can turn it into a positive ray, and then good things start happening, and that could lead to things like full disclosure. And as you said, the Yeti and the Bigfoot joining us again, star brothers and sisters joining us right now around our planet. There's quite a large amount of unidentified flying objects in the space right now around Earth.
Right. A lot of activity going on right now all over the world, that is for sure.
All over the world, a lot of activity, both natural, as you said, with tornadoes and earthquakes, but also disease and everything in between. So there's definitely something bigger at play.
Tension. Tension. You could feel it. You could cut through it with a knife, man. And then you walk into a store now, and it's even just when you think that we couldn't have been separated anymore as a nation, as a people, look around now of how we are, even when we are forced to kind of have to go into public now to be around each other. There's probably a fear within everybody that you look at. Oh, does that guy got a mask on? Does that guy got gloves? Is he going to cough around me?
It is truly a way of turning. I mean, if you look at it from that sense, it has turned people in some cases against one another, because you are in fear for yourself, you're in fear for humanity, you're in fear for your family, you're in fear of each and every person you come across. Oh, that person's coughing over there. What the hell are they coughing for? They don't have a mask on. Oh, shit. You know what I mean? And then when you're in the store, you're looking at people and you're kind of mean-mugging each other and you don't want to be there. And instead of being friendly towards one another, you're like, it's an inconvenience for anybody to even be in my way right now, because what if they have it? And it turns man against man, and that's pretty crazy. That's a very big fear vibration, as you said.
Well, it shows how easily it's done too, just how mass spread and how fast it can happen. Not to downplay the COVID or anything of that nature, and not to downplay any of the deaths or sadness or tragedy that comes along with it, or the numbers or anything like that. But we can't. What I'm really hoping is that, like we were talking about earlier, about how everybody's lost in their computers and kind of really separated in that way, and taken the way of technology, and it's taken away from the music scene and all that type of stuff. It really could take something like this to shed some positive light on it, to really bring us back together. People are seeing we need people. We need to be around people. We need to hug people. We need to hang out with people. We need to go intermingle with people. We need the energy of other people. We need the love and affection and acceptance and all those things that come with being cohabitating with other human beings. Humans need that, and the more we're stuck in here on these computers, and the more we're stuck having to communicate in these ways that are distant, and the more that we're separated from each other, I believe our DNA and our natural soul and everything of that nature will rebel against that. and bring us together, actually. So this, we might get some positive out of that. And when we come out of this, everybody's going to want to go to a show. Everybody's going to want to go see fucking, whatever show's in town. They don't care who it is. Before they're all like, I'll just stay home and watch TV. Now they're like, fuck this. I've watched everything on every one of these channels. I'm going out and watching whoever's on there. I'm going to the movies. I'm going to the play. I'm going to go out. And, so maybe it'll bring us all together in some weird way.
You know what? It very well could. I mean, it's going to have an effect. It's going to take different slopes to it. First negatively, and then I think ultimately it could be a positive effect that we get. And I believe in vibration being everything. I mean, this world is nothing but vibrations. We are vibrations. And,
agree, 100%. 100%.
And if you're all focusing on fear and hatred towards one another, collectively that creates a lot of bad things to happen, and that can be the world doing bad things. Oh
yeah, I said it 100 times, bro, that we could literally, we as a collective race, as a human race, if we all focused at the same time, we can make the earth spin backwards. We can make the sun rise in the west and set in the east if we want. We have the power to do anything we want, like with the energy and the power we got. Like, and that's why I kind of took part in this. They did it was like a 1 million man meditation thing they did last week.
Two Fridays ago or a Friday ago?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I really try, and I try to get people to do that anyway and all. And hopefully it was a lot more than 1 million. But literally that to me is what's going to change things. Yeah, we can all go out with our guns and civil wars and this and that, and the government's going to take over and this and that. And, we can all fight and do whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? But when it really comes down to it, what it's going to take is a collective conscience of love and change. And that is our power. That's what's going to change shit, man. Us all sitting down, going in, focusing into our medicines and into our meditations and just literally making this virus go away, killing it. And I don't know, maybe it's in my head or maybe it's whatever, but I honestly believe that after we did that, numbers started to drop and shit. Maybe I'm just projecting that and wanting to see that so bad, but I think after we did a massive meditation that it changes shit. It literally does. It has to.
Well, will and intent are everything. So when you push that, I mean, if everyone's got the same intent and will and they focus their energy, as you said, it's very strong. If the entire world all did sit at one exact moment and meditated, truthfully meditated, for the positive on one collective thing, you could accomplish anything. You'd send such a burst of energy through the field out there that anything could be possible. The things that you hear in movies and see that's magic and all this thing would easily happen in a snap of a finger. People don't realize how much power truthfully is behind each and every one of us. As you said, we are the fingers, but if we become the fist, it's amazing what we can do.
That's right, man. And that's, and even while we're locked up like this, we got to stay in ceremony. And ceremony doesn't mean doing all the time to everybody. Ceremony is song. Get out there with your drums, get out there with your guitar, create, sing, paint. You're creating, you're putting that positive energy into the world, and so there's a lot to that, a lot to drum into the spirits. And, we easily change the molecular structure of water, plants, things of that nature with just words. You can look at a glass of water and cuss at it and then look at it under a microscope of how it looks. And, you've probably seen these experiences where the structure gets all ugly or you get a jug of water and you call it ugly every day and call it piece of shit and you suck, you damn water. And then you water a plant with that water and the plant comes out all deformed and ugly. And you have another thing of water that you're saying, I love you and you're so beautiful and thank you for the life you give us. And you're watering a plant with that, how it thrives and grows and is huge. And that's the power we have, man. And we just got to remember that. And, there is no dis-ease on this planet, and especially if it's any kind of natural disease that the Mother Earth doesn't have a cure for. So there's lots of things we can do to protect ourselves and keep ourselves healthy and things like that, man. So I just, I pray for us, bro, because a lot of times I think of that, you start getting down, you look at the world around you and stuff like that, because we're always trying to stay positive. We're always trying to look on the bright side and just everything's going to be all right. And we have that thing called hope and faith. And you have those days where you start getting down and thinking, oh man, has the time passed? Has the hourglass ran out and we're too late now for the eighth fire? Is it come to pass? And, I've always every day got old hope that no, we as a people can change it any day we want. Exactly. And that's the other thing too. It's up to us. There ain't going to be no damn saviors coming from the sky, not to get on anybody's religion or anybody's belief of aliens or anybody's belief of this. Cause I believe in a lot of crazy shit, but what I'm saying is nobody's coming to save us. This is us. We need to save us. We need to help us. Anybody that is an intelligent being or anything that could be above us would be saying that these humans need to get their shit together. They need to stop shitting in their kitchen and they need to start loving each other and live in balance and live happy lives, man. And so it's up to us, man. And I think we can do it.
Oh, I agree, because it's completely out of control at this point. Like you said, if there was a race above ours, and I'm sure there certainly is, that would look down on us or do look down on us, they have to be shaking their heads and saying, what the fuck are these guys doing?
Yeah.
So, get your shit together or you guys are not going to be here long.
Yeah, I know.
Now we're going to jump to another song. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say something goofy. Like I watched some... I'll watch some shit on ridiculousness or something like that. And just some of the funny, goofy things humans do. And I'm like, this is what aliens are looking at.
They're definitely, they're tuning in and shaking their heads.
Yeah. They're going, oh my God. Or like, we're like, they're still lighting their farts on fire, or whatever,
Exactly. I mean, they're like, wow, man, they brought us here. They dropped us off 1 million years ago and we never evolved since. We think we have, but we haven't.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Oh, I totally am on that wavelength too. My tribe's actual name, Anishinaabe, means from whence man was set down, like from the stars. So we came, my people believe we came directly from the star people, aliens straight to Turtle Island here. So.
I believe that's probably pretty accurate. So it's
yes, sir.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of strange things out there. As you said, you believe and I believe, and I think there's too much backing to completely ignore it. People will try to, but I think that, we definitely have been on this rock for a long time, but I believe something put us here. And I don't know if it was just a magical force that snapped his finger and poof, we were here. I think we were seeded like any good crop. But, we've certainly evolved and grown some, just we are still kind of dumb. In the overall scheme of things, we need to have unconditional love towards one another. And if we had that towards everyone, then a lot of things would change and there'd be no need for violence or no need for everything that you face in this world and see right now. We could change it all, but it starts with each and every one of us.
Oh, yes.
And we do that by putting our fist in the air. And that's the name of this next track we're going to jump into here. This is Fist in the Air, and we'll be right back on Uncovering the Underground.
Of the thunder didn't mean to keep you waiting. Now the earth is shaking, despair was just hibernating. Awakened from my slumber, I encumber pain from the hunger to get back underground and rain on some parades. This state is packing pressure, putting pencil to the paper, pouring penny on the poses, pale picky politician. Privileged pompous population, pushing poison for position in the bowl of pollution, pitching prejudice solutions. Only the world changed while I was gone, I hadn't noticed. Did the people come together while my view was out of focus? Have we separated while we blame a puppet POTUS? Controlled by corporations, kill the planet, slowly choke us. Oh damn, he said it again, why does he have to rap political? Those will never listen, just get drunk and wait for miracles. This guy is always preaching, think he's reaching to be lyrical. Why can't he just get it over and be funny and satirical? This is not a comeback, I never went anywhere. With my JustinSayne N8V, put your fist in the air. Hit you like a heart attack and now you feel the thunder. Acting like a maniac, the Zodiac may wonder. This is not a comeback, I never went anywhere. With my JustinSayne N8V, put your fist in the air. Hit you like a heart attack and now you feel the thunder. Acting like a maniac, the Zodiac may wonder. Okay, let's change the subject now, my friends. I've seen your strife and your life seems like a dead end. Going round again, no way. I just leave you there alone. I'll suffer with you, won't dismiss you. I'm your home before it's known. I'll be your shoulder, we'll grow older, struggle through. Seems I've grown colder, loner soldier who went through, but I'm okay, it's cool. Yes, I'm still sober and bipolar, oh, it's true. Still the provoker, joker, smoker, deja vu. This is not a comeback, I never went anywhere. With my JustinSayne N8V, put your fist in the air. Hit you like a heart attack and now you feel the thunder. Acting like a maniac, the Kodiak and wonder. This is not a comeback, I never went anywhere. With my JustinSayne N8V, put your fist in the air. Hit you like a heart attack and now you feel the thunder. Acting like a maniac, the Kodiak and wonder. Put your fist. This ain't no comeback, man. Been here the whole time. In the back of your still burning up some bridges, I'm so vicious and obscene. And I'm still burning up some cedar as I teeter on the beam. Still walking on a tightrope, burning candles at both ends. Still holding on to my own, trying to cope and never end. Keep a future in my vision when decisions are my own. Keep my sanity, my mission, disposition's overblown. Dropping the tobacco on the ground so I am heard. Dancing with my shadow in the moonlight, I am cured. Still washing in the pit and I'm still surfing on the crowd. Still don't give a shit cause I'm still raising Cain and loud. Still banding with my feather, I'm still walking with the dead. I'm still dancing in my leather, I'm still filling fools with dread. I'm still repping something different, I'm still down with KOE. Still ignoring all the gibberish if it ain't concerning me. I'm still riding on the lightning, still walking the red road. Still fighting for the right thing, I'm still waiting to explode. Whoa!
All right, guys, we are back on Uncovering the Underground. That was Fist in the Air by JustinSayne N8V, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Justin, that was a new song, correct?
Yeah, that's off the new album, Borderline Personality, the first song on the album, man. It's kind of that, but it's, like I said, it was a minute before since my last album, so I really wanted to come busting out of the gate like, I'm back, motherfuckers.
That's it, man. You got to slap them in the face, make them remember. If they forgot, you make them remember.
Yeah, well, it's kind of, like the song says, it's kind of like I didn't go anywhere. I'm right here. Where the fuck you been?
Exactly. I never went anywhere. I was just stewing on some new music.
Never went anywhere. Let's get that fist in the air, man, for unity.
Absolutely. No, that's a message that I can truly stand behind and certainly support. Now, we were talking about kind of, shooting the shit during the break there, and something I do like to ask several guests that I've had on the show is, what is your take on having just a straight song or an album that's just song after song after song with no skits, no intro, no outro, compared to someone who puts an intro and outro, skits in, What is your feeling? Because a lot of people don't do skits anymore, not that that's a bad thing, but there's a lot of artists that specifically stand behind having skits and making it more of a journey in that regard. What are your feelings on that?
Mixed feelings. I think it's cool and I really dig it. I just suck at it. That, I'm not one of those, those skits and stuff fit really well with a certain type of song, a song that is funny and that has a lot of really, catchy, tricky punchlines and stuff like that. And, and it's just, it doesn't fit my music so much. It's kind of like putting skits on a rock album or something. It's just, sometimes they fit, but they got to kind of be, more about creaking doors and monsters coming, and then it goes into the song, as opposed to coming through a drive-through and, having some funny order and shit, and that's your skit, or talking to a girl. Like, I could just never do those. But I, for the first time, I did do one on this album. Like, I've never done it. I like skits like out of movies and things like that. I got like on Damn Land. As you heard, it starts out with the beginning of a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
It kind of ends with Rod Serling talking. So I really like doing things like that, taking samples of movies. I also do it on another song on my album now, called Fury 58. It's about the car Christine. So I kind of took some from John Carpenter's movie and put a little bit of the dialogue in there in the beginning and end and stuff like that. And I also, for the first time, actually did do a skit because I did my first marijuana song called Mary Jane. And I'm real original, huh? I don't know a rapper that don't have a Mary Jane song, but but it is spelled MERRYJAYNE. So maybe it's a little different. But I did do a little skit in that, and that's because I'm able to write the skit to where it could be funny and shit like that. I'm just not too good at doing all these actors and stuff. So I got my homie THC, the head chop on there, and our homie Big Booth. And they did a little skit, that I wrote out about, seeing this girl, Mary Jane, and things like that. So so I think it's cool. Like, I dig it. Like, to me, that's hip hop. To me, that's rap. To me, rap is a lot of 808 bass, those funny ass skits, shit like that, beatboxing. And one thing that was, you think it's kind of funny, but it really tripped me out how hard it was for me to find an actual turntable scratcher for my new album.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's not easy at all.
No, it's such a lost art. People just working the ones and twos. And to me, I'm like, what that? And everybody's just like, yeah, nobody really does it anymore. And I'm like, what do you mean? That's hip hop. Like, that's rap. You got to have that dope scratching and samples and stuff like that. I mean, I didn't oversaturate it. I put it on, I think, 5 out of the 14 songs or something like that. But it is something that I feel, to be hip hop and to kind of stay in that genre and to kind of honor hip hop, if you will, that there's certain things that you should have in your music, and kind of, scratching to me personally is one of those things.
No, and I love scratching. And as you just said, it's not easy at all to come across, and most people don't think of that. But it has become a lost art form, and it's very seldom to come across someone who does it, let alone does it properly.
It's so hard to find someone, and then to find someone that still had the right equipment and can get, like, it was a rough one. Like, that put the album probably, 3 months back, just trying to find somebody to put some good scratching on the album, because I've had, it was a little hard for me to get up to my main man DJ Chill this year, and he's the one that did all the ones and twos on my first 2 albums. So this one I kind of, experimented a little bit and had to get out there and, test out some new people. So yeah, I dig it, man. Now I've kind of progressed though. Like, my first album, I'm straight this metalhead type dude trying to do this rap thing. And so I just wanted it to be like a garage sound band album, just real raw and ugly and just straight up, boom, this is what it is. Dirty JustinSayne N8V music, and then, as I progressed, the second album, I kind of wanted to do a little bit of that, but then a little bit more production too. And then by this third album, I really kind of wanted to produce it up, and not to say that I want to do any kind of auto tune or crazy things with my vocals or any shit like that. But I really wanted some extra production on there, better samples, more effects, more echo type shit, and just stuff that I normally wouldn't do when I was wanting it to sound like a garage band. So, I'm all about the bells and whistles when it comes to music, bro. And I'm also all about it just staying raw and old school too. I support it all, brother.
I love it, man. Support it. You can't diss it and knock it until you tried it, because you never know what's out there and what it can lead to. Now, why don't you tell us, we obviously know a little bit about the background for you now as a person and as an artist. We know about the things that you've released up and including the new album. And what do we expect next from you? Did you have anything in the plans coming up for the next, project? Is there something else aside from rapping that we can see you doing soon? What is the future of JustinSayne Native?
Funny you mention that. Well, I'm not the youngest cat in in the litter anymore, man. I'm kind of getting to an age where it's gonna soon get to a point where me jumping around on a stage doing hip hop is gonna start to, I may still be dope or whatever, but to me it's gonna start to feel foolish. Like even sometimes on my way to shows, I'm like, it still amazes me that I'm a rapper and I'm able to do what I do. So I'm like, what are you doing, Justin? Like, I can't, like, what are you doing? Like, you're such and such an age, and here you are going down to this little club to do a rap show, and it's like, and then it hits me. This is what you do. This is what you do. You rock stages to spread a message and get out there with the people, and this is it. And so it's really funny when I think about that. But so I'm gonna put out one more album as JustinSayne Native. These are my plans. Plans change all the time, but I'm going to put out one more album as JustinSayne Native, with a few singles in between. I got a single that I'm probably going to try to drop within the next couple weeks here, just because I'm trapped in the house and I have my own studio, so I might as well record some stuff. So I did a little song about kind of my thoughts on the situation now, and probably write another one and do a few singles here, and then kind of like we were talking about on the break, man. I'm thinking I'd like to do a concept album. For my fourth and final album is JustinSayne Native, and make it a real ceremonial album, and where the whole album is a concept of you start out as a ceremony and kind of go through all these different songs where you're actually doing, you're changing the world while you're listening to an album, and you're kind of interacting with it also, that you can interact with it anywhere while you're driving in the car. It'll just be about thoughts and things like that, and putting you in the right mood with the music. And it'll still be the same hardcore, bringing the thunder, JustinSayne Native that you heard, that you've always heard from Justin. And then, man, I'm thinking after that, I want to, I've slowly been progressing to the band thing. I got a guitarist now. He was on that last song, Fist in the Air. His name is Chris Meyer. He goes by Chaos. And we've been doing a lot of collabing, and so I'm really wanting to get more into the singer-songwriter, collabing with other musicians and creating full music with a band. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing, and really kind of get, because check it out. You could be a rapper at 40, 50, even 60 if you had hits when you were in your 20s. If you were some big star, you can still get out there and you can do your touring when you're 60 years old on your hits, and you could still be pretty, you could be living good and feeling good. You know what I'm saying? But when you're still trying to make a name for yourself and trying to come up in any sort of way, and you're still playing little clubs and stuff like that when you're, 45, 50, 60 years old, it's not, it's time to change genres or do something. And I don't want to be that guy. So, but I tell you what, you can be a dude that does like the blues or like some really heavy, like country type, not saying I'm going to do country, but you can come out as a country singer at 50 years old and all of a sudden be a big hot hit, be the next big thing. You know what I'm saying? It's really tough. You don't see a lot of hip hop dudes coming out at 50 that are the next hot thing, or the next soul singer, the next hot thing. But in like certain genres, you can still be a certain age and come out of the gate. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking I'm going to go into some funky blues, metal, fucking Bob Seger meets Pantera type shit, and really get into some singing and some melodic Ronnie James Dio, fucking old Black Sabbath type band shit, and see what that does, man. And still, of course, kind of mix in. I've kind of got it built in me now, a certain style that I do verses, to where that's just the way it comes out. So it's still going to sound like me, but really going to try something new, man. So that's kind of what the future holds for me.
I love it, man, and I can't wait to see it come to fruition and see what happens as it comes together and evolves, and we'll certainly all be keeping an eye out. I have 3 more questions for you. They're lightning round questions, so they're just very quick, easy answers. After that, I'm going to give out my closing statement. We're going to jump into our last song of the evening and fade out after that. But the 3 questions are, if you had to pick between making a massive hit song, being set for life, both fame and income and becoming rich off of this song, you just, it's one of those songs that'll live in infamy forever, but every other song that you write is absolute garbage and you're always living up to that one song? Or do you choose to write killer song after song after song after song? You feel like it's the best shit that's ever been written. You are so proud of it, but no matter how often you play it and push it, no one likes it, no one seems to care, and it's almost like it's falling upon deaf ears. Which would you pick?
Well, being as I've been doing the latter since I started in 2012, I would have to say, that's my biggest risk. That's what I say. I wish I could just have that one big hit. Just that one big hit to get out there and all the people could hear it and all that. So being as where I am now, I would say I'd love to have that one big hit. Now, if I was the one big hit and all my other shit sucked and I had no respect for myself and anything else, then I'm sure I would think different and be like, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that. I wish it would be the other way. But, because I do feel everything I write, and everything I write, I do feel that way. I feel like this is it. This is brilliant. This is going to be the next big thing. Everybody's going to love this. And then it's just kind of like, when it falls on deaf ears, So yeah, I'd love that one big hit. I'd love to write the happy birthday song and have everybody in their living room sing it forever and just be known for that. I'd be all right with that.
Definitely. No, I like it. Now, if you had to pick either dicks for fingers or testicles for toes, what are you picking?
Would the testicles for toes still have the nerve endings?
Yeah, so you're feeling every step.
Yeah, I'll take the dicks for fingers for sure.
Can you imagine a world of dick fingers? Couldn't get anything done.
Yeah, you have to have big special made gloves that I don't know, that have sticky shit on them that you could grab stuff kind of easy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be a difficult life.
Like dick, that'd be a drag too, because you'd be grabbing things and all of a sudden your index finger shoots a wad and shit. You're like, what the hell? That'd be a drag.
No, I hear you 100%. Now, this next one, I'm going to change this next one up a little bit. Normally, I ask if all animals were to battle for the ultimate domination of mankind and humans weren't involved in that, who would win and why. But I'm switching that up tonight since you're a spiritual guy and you're into a lot of paranormal stuff as well. If you had to pick one ultimate being to rule them all, and that can be aliens, that can be cryptids such as Bigfoot or the Dogman, that can be paranormal ghosts, demons, anything like that. If there was a battle of the obscure and occult, who do you think would ultimately come on top? Which genre of being?
Well, if we're looking into, let's say the dark side, on the cryptid side, I would have to say one of the baddest asses that is the most powerful and pretty much most feared by my people would be the Wendigo. I think with I don't even like saying its name. My people don't even like saying the word.
It's a wicked looking creature.
Yeah, and it could look like anything or anybody, and skinwalkers are pretty badass and tough too, man. And those things that are etherical beings that can shape shift and be anything and eat your soul and cannibalize you and fuck you all up. Yeah, that stuff ain't no good.
Not at all. No, I like it. So
yeah, I think the Wendigo would do the most kicking ass, as far as if it came to to those type of things. And then on the other side though, I think what would come out on top of all that is just I think the power of love is the baddest ass thing. I think there ain't nothing more powerful. I think even if a Wendigo was coming at me, that I got a certain amount of spiritual power within myself that it couldn't harm me in any way, shape, or form. And like I said, I think what we hold within us is the fucking awesomest power anywhere in the universe.
I love it. That's tonight's tagline, folks. Every episode we get a tagline. Tonight is is hashtag slap a Wendigo with love.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, Justin, it has been a pleasure having you on the show. I had a great time talking to you and hearing a little bit about your background and how you came to be who you are today. Why don't you tell the folks really quick, and then we're going to jump into the show. We got to wrap it up in the next 3 minutes, but why don't you tell the folks where they can check you out at and who you would like to thank?
All right. Well, you can look me up. Just Google it on every platform there possibly is. JustinSayne, and then N8V. JustinSayne Native. Native is spelled N8V on every platform, Spotify, YouTube, you name it. I can also be emailed for booking anything like that at JustinSayne, the number 8 at yahoo.com. And just shout out everybody, man. First of all, thank you, Skippy Ickum, for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. Everybody out there and listening to Uncovering the Underground, man. Much love, all my family. Everybody out there, shout out KOE, Something Different Entertainment, Brutal Business. And much love to all the fam out there, man. I appreciate you always. Gakina Awiya.
You heard it, folks. Make sure you check out Justin and pick up his newest album. Support him in a town near you on his next tour. And always show as much love as you can. Support underground music. You can catch us back here tomorrow night with Beyond Top Secret. That'll be from 8 to 9:30 p.m. once again. And again, that's Beyond Top Secret, an underground hip-hop group. And then we have a lot of other shows that we'll be talking about tomorrow night that are upcoming as well. Make sure you share it around. Click the like, share, and follow button. Help build us up the community rankings in the podcast community. We would really appreciate it. And we're going to finish this episode out tonight with the song March of the Maggots by JustinSayne Native. Once again, brother, thank you for coming on the show, and we'll catch you next time.
Magwitch, thank you.
You see me in the streets, I got my mask on. Time to get my march on. Signing hand and screaming about my problems. Everybody in the world has got to hear what I say. Yelling in the megaphone and blocking up the freeway. I ain't saying that my cause and that my fight ain't righteous, but why you playing rebel with the cause somebody died just trying to find a bill for a meal cause he's homeless, body mangled in a war and struggling with psychosis. See you on the Facebook, man, you're trying to save the planet. Shaman made a plastic rubber bullet, gets his ass kicked, saying that he's come to fight with flowers in a basket. Warrior for the people as he leads them to the casket. I ain't one to judge, but man, you're marching like a maggot. Death and rotting flesh seems to attract you like a magnet. Battle lines are drawn and you do not believe in violence. All women being butchered while you sit and pray in silence. March, little maggot, maggot, march. 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 Welcome to the March of the Maggots. See him on the news and now they're trying to save a statue of someone that they never knew but others wanna pass through. Get to where they're going to. Racists yelling fuck Jews. Smash his hooded maggot face for talking about my hairdo. Yeah, it's long and yeah, I'm brown, but that don't got to scare you. Yeah, I'm native, but that doesn't mean to call us all Sioux. Lakota's how you say it, even though I am Ojibwe. 7th fire warrior from the land made out of white clay. Little maggots marching with a different way to think, trying to force me to believe we're all not standing on the brink. While you're marching on each other, hating everyone in sight, as your master watches over us, rejoicing in our fight. You wanna live, but you don't wanna live. Wanna take and not give, always be combative. We must learn to forgive, and we must never forget the past and what we forfeit if we don't sit and put aside our bullshit. March, little maggot, maggot, march. 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 March to the March of the Maggot. Now I ain't here to argue, my opinion is my own, and I ain't here to battle with you, let you bring it to my home. I never tell you not to fight for your cause or for your beliefs, cause sitting idle doing nothing never brings us no relief. I'm just saying that you got to choose your battles wisely. Have a common enemy and they ain't playing nicely. Maggots marching uniforms that issued by the government, marching hammers crushing all our freedom for empowerment, keeping us in line with legal poison, cell phone, fast food, designed to change your DNA and put you in a bad mood. All you got to do is keep your money in your wallet and don't spin the corporate wheel. Instead I say we got to stall it. There's no need to hit the street and get hit with a bullet. Just go hit the bank and all your money you must pull it. Find your peace of mind and like a master you must rule it, or they'll put you in the grave with maggots marching in your gullet. March, little Maggie, Maggie, march. 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 Welcome to the March of the Maggots.